Hello everyone, welcome back to CNA, the daily news analysis. Today, the date is 13th of December. These are our working experiences, you may go through it. If you want to download today's PDF, you can join our WhatsApp group or our Telegram channel. There are also other platforms through which you can connect to us. This is to inform about our IGP program, Interview Guidance Program, which is going on thrivingly, and the registration is still on and it is completely free. So please let the needy ones know about this. This is our content speech. So these are the following topics that we will be discussing today. So let's start with the first news, lessons from COP28, how to save what we can. So why it was in the news? Because UNEP-or যেটো 14th emissions gap report আছে হেতু reveal কৰিছে towards limiting the temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2100, highlighting the gap between the plan and the actual emissions level. So finally যেটো আমাৰ emission gap report যেটো ওলাই হেতু 14th report তো ওলাই গৈছে. So what is this report? Emissions gap report কি হয়? So the emission gap report measures the difference between the planned mitigation and actual emissions. Okay, so আমি যিমানখিনি আমি চেষ্টা কৰি আছো mitigation হিচাপে আমি যিখিনি মেজাৰ্স বিলাক লৈ আছো সেই মেজাৰ্স বিলাক আৰু আমাৰ যিমানখিনি আমি একচুয়ালি যিমানখিনি আমি এমিশন কৰি আছো গ্ৰীণ হাউস গেছ হক বা আদাৰ কাইন্ড অফ পলিউশনস বিলাক আমি যিমানখিনি এমিশন কৰি আছো তাৰ মাজত ডিফাৰেন্সটো কিমান আছে হেতু আমাৰ এমিশন গ্যাপ ৰিপৰ্টত দেখুৱা যায়. Now, this indicates that the global gap in limiting temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of this century compared to the pre-industrial level. So, greenhouse gases and their origins. So, amar already jikhini emissions bili kotha koisu ami, greenhouse gases are also such kind of emissions. Now, greenhouse gases including carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide are primarily generated through fossil fuel burning for power generation, transportation, manufacturing, construction, buildings, industries, etc. Now, carbon dioxide has a dominant share and can last over a century, while methane's effects are wiped out in 10 years. Okay, so methane or emission ami bahut koro carbon dioxide ami already emission kori aso carbon emission. So carbon emission to besi bia because etu bahut time lage thaki jabole pare, but methane jodi ami saw okol 10 বছৰ lage thake. Correlation between these gases and the global warming. Okay, so global warming are gases ketar majot ki relation ase. So amar earth or jeto average temperature hoy, okay, earth's average temperature hetu bahi goise, it is rising due to a rise in the these gases, GHGs, okay, from energy related activities, industry, agriculture, land use and waste hebilakor pora amar ki hoise hebilak gases bilak aru ulai goi ase. Now these gases ketar eta capacity ase, eta characteristic ase that they trap the heat in the atmosphere. Okay, they trap the heat in the atmosphere, hindering its escape, contributing to the overall temperature rise. Now this has eventually led to extreme weather events such as rains, floods, increased droughts, severe storms, cyclones, etc. So what should be the mitigation plans going forward? Okay, so mitigation plan amar ki ase? So eta amar already ase, we know about the transition in the power generation. Okay, so this transition from the fossil fuel to the renewable sources such as solar energy, wind energy. Okay, now this is very crucial for power generation. Now the transportation sector must transition to electric and hydrogen based vehicles for sustainability. However, the industrial sector faces unique challenges due to high intensity heat requirements, making the replacement of fossil fuels in this sector a formidable task. Current renewable energy sources face limitations in meeting these demands. Progress of ongoing COP28 climate meeting. So COP আপোনালোকে জানে চলি আছে যেটো, right? Okay, so amar jikhini progress ase, progress hisabe jodi ami saw fossil fuel jikhini ase, these are expected to be introduced at COP28 due to the global community's insufficient progress towards achieving the 2030 climate targets. Now, Sultan Al Jaber, okay, he have invited countries to submit proposals on the phase out of fossil fuels. So kediban agote apnaloke eta news paisile about coal phase out, right? So teneko eta similar eta proposal amar Sultan Al Jabari koisile by inviting the countries. Now this signals a shift in the focus and willingness to address the role of fossil fuels in climate discourse. Now the final decisions may include a mention of the need to phase down the fossil fuels, a radical departure from the past three decades. Moving on, the report, যেটো our report আছে ambition gap report also focuses on climate change, particularly climate equity and fossil fuel phasing out. It highlights the positive progress on the loss and damage fund, but emphasizes the need for collective action supported by rich nations. Conclusionত যদি আমি চাওঁ তেতিয়াহলে এই গোটেই আমাৰ যেটো report আছে, it acknowledges that the developing countries have very limited resources for cleanup and mitigation plans. Despite some progress, there is still a long way to go to contain rising temperatures, and rich nations must prioritize saving efforts. So it was in our first news. So yate moi eta apnaloke kotha kodibo bicharu about the POP. So what do you mean by POPs? So apnaloke janeka sale that amar jikhini greenhouse gas aru গ্লোবেল ওয়ার্মিং লগত এটা ৰিলেচন দেখা পালে সো আপোনালোকে ভাবি পেলাই মোক কমেন্ট সেকশনত লিখি দিয়ক that POP এর কি ৰিলেচন আছে with the global warming. Next news I go about the India nears the Kala Azar elimination. So why was it in the news? Because India stands on the brink of eliminating visceral leishmaniasis. Okay, Kala Azar. So a bemarto jitu ase he bemarto koa goise khek korar kotha koa goise ge. Okay, so that's why it is in the news. Now Kala Azar disease to hoy ki? So this is an indigenous disease, okay, caused by leishmania donovani, okay, also known as black fever or dum fever in India. So eketa tar popular names hoy. Now transmission and symptoms kenake transmit hoy? So it is a disease that is transmitted by the Phlebotomus argentipes. Okay, it was a sandfly hoy. So these sandflies in India, this can transmit this disease. Now, this disease causes fever, weight loss, spleen and liver enlargement with untreated cases potentially fatal বুলি কৈছে. Okay, so আমি যদি চাওঁ তেতিয়াহলে স্প্লিন লিভাৰ ইত্যাদি ফুলি যাব আৰু potentially fatal বুলি কৈছে, গতিকে ডেথ হ'ব পাৰে. And আমি যদি চাওঁ এটা আমাৰ ৰেকৰ্ডছত আছে that 2023 India have recorded 530 cases and 4 deaths, a decrease from the previous years. Additionally, 286 cases of post-Kala Azar dermal leishmaniasis was reported, resulting in skin lesions. Okay, so skin related to our problems bila ami dekha pao. Now hetu ki hoy post Kala Azar jitu hoy post Kala Azar dermal leishmaniasis. Okay, so PKDL boli koa goise. Now it may occur without going through the visceral stage of Kala Azar, but more data is needed to understand its development. Now the treatment for Kala Azar in India involves the injectable liposomal amphotericin B, while standard treatment for PKDL is 12 weeks of oral miltefosine. Elimination strategies include effective spraying, wall plastering with Gerard soil, and ensuring treatment compliance through the ASSA network. Okay, so eketa hoy gol ami kenekake deal koribo paro with this disease. Now related initiatives jodi ami saw globally তেতিয়াহলে WHO কৈছে আৰু হিতে এটা they have set a goal to eradicate the neglected tropical diseases by 2030. Okay, so tropical diseases bilakok khek kora kotha koise. Now this also includes lymphatic filariasis as well, onchocerciasis as well, and Kala Azar. So through the global program to eliminate the lymphatic filariasis GPELF. Okay, so hetu logot ami amar eta program eta start hoise. Okay, he program to amar GPELF hoy. Okay, by WHO. Now despite the setbacks due to COVID-19, the WHO plans to accelerate the efforts. Now the Indian government jodi ami na Indian government is working towards eliminating Kala Azar by 2023 through various initiatives such as building pakka houses, rural electrification, testing, treatment, and award distribution. Now National Kala Azar Elimination Program, our own Bharator. So a program to establish is like it 2002, and it aims to eradicate the disease by 2015. Now India has signed a tripartite memorandum of understanding with Bangladesh and Nepal as well to achieve this goal. Now all the programmatic activities are implemented through the National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program. So that was the news. Please go to the questions. The third news is what's happening with the center's ethanol blending scheme. So why was it in the news? Because the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution has banned sugarcane juice or syrup from being used for ethanol production. Okay. Also, following a ban on sugar exports and a move to increase the domestic availability. So, what about the ethanol and ethanol blending? Ethanol is a renewable fuel produced from sugarcane molasses, rice husk, or maize. Now, it is primarily produced in India through fermentation and is 99.9% pure alcohol. Now, the Indian government permits the procurement of first generation ethanol and second generation ethanol. Okay, so first generation ethanol molasses use kora hoise and second generation ethanol rice straw বা wheat straw বা corn stover বা bagasse বা bamboo বা woody biomass use kora hoise. Okay, now to supplement the ethanol supplies. Now ethanol can be blended with petrol and is derived from the plants that harness the sun's power. Okay. Now, that is about biodiesel. So, what do you know about biodiesel? Our core biodiesel banava paro. Okay, please search it out and let me know in the comment box. Ethanol blended petrol, jito amar ase tar program, EBP program. Okay, Kune launch korisile? The Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas have launched this program in 2003 itself to promote the alternative and environmentally friendly fuels. Now, it expanded to India in 2019, allowing oil marketing companies to sell petrol blended with ethanol up to 10%. The average blending of ethanol with petrol has increased from 1.6% in 2013-14 to 11.8% in 2022 to 2023. Now, India aims to increase this ratio to 20% by 2030. Okay. Now, benefits of EBP program ki ase? Benefits include reduced import bills, reduced environmental pollution, and increased farm income. Challenges include tweaking engines for 20% ethanol blended fuel. Okay, so engines bilakok ami change koribo lagibo hei hisabe jate neki blended petrol ba blended diesel black use kori pelai ami amar jate neki gari bhal performance diye. Okay. Now, moving on. Ethanol, ethanol despite emitting no carbon dioxide, okay, carbon dioxide nil, does not decrease the nitrous oxide emissions, and concerns include inefficient land usage, water usage, and food security due to uncertainties in the future output. So, ethanol ami kor pra banai asu, ultimately amar food crops or pra olai asu boli ami kobole paruge. Okay, so carbon dioxide emission no hoy, but আমি যদি চাও তেতিয়াহলে ইয়াতে nitrous oxide emissions হয়. Okay, now why is the sweetener diversion for ethanol production restricted? So এইটো question আহিব পাৰে আপোনালোকৰ মেইনছত. Okay, so ধ্যান ৰাখিব that আমাৰ কিছুমান concern বিলাক আছে like the sugar supply concerns. Now 2022 পৰা 2023 লকে যেটো আমাৰ sugar year আছিলে, it ended with stocks of just over 57 lakh tons. Now, this is the lowest since 2016-17 and significantly below the record of 143.3 it in 2018 to 2019. Okay, so iman khini komi gesile. Okay, now the thing is that ami jetia neki sugarcane belak khetrot use kori aso tetiahole definitely amar ki hobo amar jitu amar labh ase, okay, jikhini amar supply ase, jikhini amar output ase, hekhini amar komi goi ase. Apart from that, আমাৰ যেটো 2023 পৰা 2024 পৰা 4 লৈকে যেটো আমাৰ ইয়াৰৰ যেটো production আছে, now this is uncertain with Maharashtra and Karnataka expected to experience significant declines due to subpar rainfall and low reservoir water levels. Okay, so Maharashtra আৰু Karnataka তেনেকুৱা এটা হ'ব পৰা সম্ভাৱনা আমি পাইছো. Now this decision along with the ban on sugar shipments since May 2023 highlights the government's preference for domestic supply over exports, consumers over producers, and food over fuel. Now, to increase the ethanol production without affecting food security, the government's ethanol policy supports the alternative feedstocks, reducing sugarcane-based feedstocks from 100% to 76% in 2022 to 2023. Okay, so 76% asile, etia amar 100% loke ami dekha paise. Okay, now Parliament, there goes the question, please go through it. The Parliament passed the Advocates Amendment Bill. This is the fourth news. So why was it in the news? Because the Advocates Amendment Bill 2023 was passed in both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha's monsoon session during the first day of the Parliament's winter session. Okay. So Advocates Bill 2023, what is this? So Advocates Amendment Bill 2023, it was passed in the Rajya Sabha in August 2023 to remove the superfluous and the obsolete laws. Okay, so আমাৰ যেখিনি superfluous laws আছে বা obsolete laws আছে, superfluous বুলি ক'লে কি হ'ব, যিবিলাক আমাৰ কাৰণে unnecessary laws, obsolete বুলি ক'লে যিবিলাক outdated laws হৈ গৈছে. Okay, so সেইবিলাকক remove কৰা কথা কোৱা গৈছেগে. Now this also repeals the Legal Practitioners Act 1879. Okay, আৰু also amends the Advocates Act 1961, aligning with the government's policy of repealing obsolete laws or pre-independence acts. So what are the key features of this bill? So the bill allows the high courts, district judges, session judges, district magistrates, and revenue officers to create and publish the list of touts. Okay, the list of touts. What do you mean by tout? Tout বুলি ক'লে এটা অফিচ এটাত যিকেইটা মানুহৰ permission থাকিবৰ কাৰণে বা অফিচ এটাৰ লগত যিকেইটা মানুহ থাকিব লাগে সেই লিষ্টটো সিহঁতে বনাবলৈ পাৰে বুলি কোৱা গৈছে আমাৰ ডিস্ট্ৰিক্ট জাজ, সেশন জাজেছ সিহঁতকেইটাই. Okay, now the court can exclude anyone whose name is not included, whose name is included in the list. Authorities can also subordinate courts to investigate alleged touts. Now if proven, then a person's name can be added to the list. No person can be included without showing cause. Okay, now acting as a tout will, or while on the list, can result in imprisonment, a fine, or both. Now what are the key features of the Legal Practitioners Act 1879, which have now been repealed? The 1879 Act aimed to consolidate and amend the law relating to the legal practitioners in certain provinces. It defined legal practitioners as advocates, wakils, or attorneys of any high court. A tout was also introduced as someone who procures legal practitioner employment in exchange for payment or proposes to legal practitioners or interested parties to procure their employment for remuneration. Now, what are the key features of the Advocates Act of 1961, which have now been amended? Now, the Advocates Act 1961 was a law amendment to consolidate legal practitioners' rights and establish the bar councils and an all-India bar. It replaced three previous acts: the 1879 Act, the Bombay Pleaders Act, and the Indian Bar Councils Act. The Law Commission and All India Bar Committee recommended repealing the 1879 Act. So here goes a question, please go through it. Here comes our prelims facts. So exercise windbags. Now it was in the news because the Indian Armed Forces, including 45 personnel, have participated in the joint military exercise Windbags 2023 in Hanoi, Vietnam. The exercise, established in 2018, aims to foster collaboration, promote interoperability, and share best practices under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter on Peacekeeping Operations. Now, the Indian contingent includes 39 Engineer Regiment of Bengal Engineer Group. Okay, so এইবিলাক অলপমান মনত ৰাখিব. Okay, prelims aha chances বহুত বেছি আছে. Now, the Indian contingent includes 39 Engineer Regiment of Bengal Engineer Group personnel and 6 Army Medical Corps personnel. So let's move on to the second prelims fact, the Project Artha Ganga. The Project Artha Ganga jitu hoy, it is a 2014 government initiative. Jitu amar Namami Ganga asle tar logote add kori dia goise Arth Ganga to. Okay, so yate apnaloke mok kok that Namami Ganga tar objectives ki ase, kar under ase, aru bortomanor loke hihotor status ki hoy. Okay, Amami Ganga is very, very important. Environment ecology point of view, governance point of view, okay, so it is very, very important. So please go through it. Okay, so this scheme, this initiative, it aims at strengthening the river people connection through sustainable economic development. It consists of 6 pillars. Okay, 6 pillars are like promoting the natural farming. Okay, good details of the silo, promoting the natural farming, then monetizing the treated water and sludge, then improving the livelihood opportunities, promoting tourism and cultural heritage, empowering people for participation and capacity building, and empowering the local administration for improved water governance. The next news is about Baku. Okay, so where is Baku? So Baku, which is the capital and the largest city of Azerbaijan, will host the next COP29. So COP28 to চলি আছে আপোনালোকে গম পায় now এটা COP29 আহি গল তো আহিব যেতিয়া নেকি কোট হ'ব বাকুত হ'ব now city is 28 meters below sea level. Okay, the city is 28 meters below sea level, making it the lowest lying national capital and the largest city below sea level. Okay, so that is where this is in Azerbaijan. So yate apnaloke mok janabo that Azerbaijan jitu country hoy, okay, titu eta landlocked country hoy ne nohoy, please let me know. Landlocked country hoy ne nohoy, please let me know. Okay, so apnaloke yate mapot dia ase, mapot yate likha ase yate Caspian Sea dia ase. So apni logote sabo Caspian Sea logot ase jihetu, so what should be, it should be considered as landlocked country, yes or no. Now, with an estimated 2 million people, Baku is the primate city of Azerbaijan and the sole metropolis. The city is the scientific, cultural, and industrial center of Azerbaijan, with the old city, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2000 itself. This is our academic team. This is our content developing and technical team. That's it for today, guys. Thank you.